Morning, America. How we doing today? I got a special edition Sasnak channel for you today. Got a man here that's came out to visit me in the Skadden Wash area here at the gathering that we're used to call the RTR thing. And he come up and around the fire last night. He claims he works for the NSA. And I don't want to put his face on YouTube, but he has stories to tell. So, what do we want to call you?
I don't know. We can call me Agent Orange.
There you go, Agent Orange here.
Agent Orange.
Agent Orange is sitting here, and anyway, we're setting this up kind of like the interviews with the mob that doesn't want to have his face on the camera.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
deep throat kind of stuff.
Deep throat. There you go. This is deep throat.
You can call me Deep Throat.
There we go.
Right
Agent
there.
Orange, you're Deep Throat.
I'm
Okay.
Deep Throat. Yes,
okay. Okay. Anyway, give me just real quick what non-classified things, but what your credentials.
So my credentials are I'm a Cisco router jockey from way back. So I'm a network guy that got into security, that fell into Booz Allen when they needed a network guy in the classified space.
What's a Booz Allen?
Booz Allen is like one of the top four, one of those Ernst & Young kind of, big four accounting houses.
Okay.
Well, they do a lot of work for the NSA and for the government in these clandestine areas.
Okay.
So I was working for Booz Allen at the time, and they needed a network guy at the TAO group at NSA.
Okay.
The TAO group is Tactical Access Operations.
Okay.
So you can look those.
Thank you
things
for
up.
filling out, because that's just
That's
with
fine.
the military, all the acronyms and stuff. What does that mean?
So NSA is a DoD operation. So it's not
Department of
a
Defense.
it's an intelligence operation for the DoD. Yes.
Okay. To defend America against
To defend America. Exactly.
Foreign adversaries.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And so their charter is, it's kind of like the CIA. You can only work offshore.
Okay.
So you don't mess with American resources. You don't touch Americans unless they're dirty and they're dirty from some other sources.
Okay.
So the basic premise is you're not going to drop a malware on an American's phone because it's illegal.
Okay.
Section 702 of a law says that it's illegal.
Okay.
So you can't do it.
Okay.
Does that capability exist? Sure.
Okay.
And they do it offshore.
What we got to talking about around the fire last night, oh, you're NSA? And the first question that came out of somebody's mouth was, is my cell phone spying on me? I.e. the Snowden thing.
Right.
Okay. Is there capability of doing that?
Capability exists.
My phone is up here right now. They could be listening to me right now.
Capability exists.
But do they?
No.
And why not? I mean,
because of the law.
Okay.
The law says that they will not spy on an American.
Okay.
It's just that simple.
All right.
So they can't read your mail without a warrant.
Okay.
Our justice system is still in play here.
Okay.
So they got to go to a court to get a warrant.
Okay.
And they got to present evidence that you're a bad guy.
Okay.
Once they do that, court gives them the warrant to put a thing on your phone.
Okay, got it. Now, when they get that information, they store it in that, like, for instance, I know there's a place up in Utah.
There's a place in Utah, plus there's other places.
Okay, all right. But that's the stuff they store.
Yes.
Not my naked text.
They don't care. They don't care
Not my
about
naked text to my girlfriend.
Right.
Okay. All right. So
they don't care about your porn. They don't care about your girlfriend's porn.
Okay. So what they're looking for instance, we were just talking earlier before we turned the camera on, like the Boston bombers.
Right.
They already knew those guys had the potential of being bad.
Right.
So they went through the proper channels, got the warrants, and were watching and kind of knew a little bit about them. They just didn't expect them to act on that day.
Correct.
Okay. And when they did act, they got a laundry list of shit on them already.
Absolutely.
Okay. And that's all above
Totally
board legal.
legit. Yes,
okay.
sir.
Now, who decides that they were a possible threat? I mean, I'm out here talking around a campfire, and I say something bad about whichever president, no matter which political, if I'm against Trump or for Biden or against Biden, and will that put me on that list?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
All right. Okay. Well, okay.
The simple
Hollywood,
fact is
Hollywood really
Hollywood
flares this
should,
up.
and exactly, the internet doesn't help either. because the internet tells you that every one of our conversations are being listened to, and every one of our phones are
They
being
got a satellite
tapped.
looking at us
Satellite
right now.
looking at us right now.
Yeah.
Does the capabilities exist? Yes, they do. Are they employed against us? No, they are not.
Okay.
Why? Because of the law.
Okay. One of the things, worry is not the right word.
Concern, caution.
Concern, well, just something I can foresee possibly happening.
Yeah.
What if the government turns into a bad government and they decide they got all this technology and now they piss on the law and they're just going to change the rules? There's that possibility there.
That possibility is actually, in the past 4 years, has turned into a probability, and they have begun to weaponize intelligence against key individuals. Yes.
Okay.
My humble opinion, there were various intelligence operations weaponized against conservative individuals. The general was one of them, the president was one of them, various other advisors were multiple others. And so it's my humble opinion that at that point, the intelligence community was weaponized for a political purpose. And you're absolutely right. The whole thing went fucking clean off the rails. Sorry.
Okay.
You can beat me there.
No, in the last 4 years, Trump was in charge of this. So why would he be spying on himself?
Deep state. He didn't spy. He wasn't spying on himself. The intelligence. No, before 2016.
Oh, okay. Right.
Before, during the election, it's already been brought out that there were certain players, key intelligence resources that had information on Mr. Trump that they shouldn't have had to begin with, and they had started investigations under improper methods.
Okay.
So they had actually said lies and then used those lies to propagate search warrants to then begin the process of persecuting. Yeah. And so it was really ugly.
It was funny that Trump, I'm going to say this, he didn't really help himself sometimes.
No.
Trump is Trump. He didn't really help
Exactly.
himself. For instance, back during the election in 2016, they were sitting there and they were all talking about Hillary's emails. And jokingly, everybody knows it was a joke, but the people that don't like him, you see what he said? No, people, it was a joke. Okay, but he said, maybe we can get the Russians to hack the
Trump
email.
was a victim
he was
of
joking
a
about
vindictive media.
Right, exactly.
He really was.
I agree with that, yes. So,
but
he
not
didn't help
the
himself by
world's
making a
greatest
comment at the
orator.
beginning.
He's not.
Yeah.
He's
not Ronald Reagan.
I won't listen to him. I frankly will not listen. I'm his fan. I'm his biggest fanboy,
Yeah.
but I won't listen to him.
Okay.
I won't listen to him speak. I don't watch his rallies. I hear about it afterwards. I'll pick out any piece of interesting information.
Right.
But I won't watch it.
Right.
Why? Because I don't like the way he speaks.
Right.
But I do like what he does.
Right.
His
I see
results
what you're saying.
speak for themselves, and for that, I support him.
Yeah. Let's see. What else was he going to talk about? The
NSA. The
the
TAO.
NSA and everything. Do you have any good? Just quick. We're at several minutes here. So, in a 2 or 3 minute thing, do you have a good story like like my old trucking stories? That truck driver did this, and let me tell you this great story. Do you have anything that's not classified?
Well, there were a couple. I sat on a couple of networks in a couple of different countries.
Okay.
I'm not supposed to say that, but I can.
Okay.
But
Well,
this is past 10 years old. So
okay,
that's
but
good.
you sit on some network. What does that mean?
Just some networks.
Like there's CNN over there, or they're NBC.
Computer networks.
Oh, okay.
So basically, how you attack or how you exploit a country is through their computer networks.
Okay.
And so we utilize.
That's what we're thinking China's doing to us right now.
Well, we know that they are.
Okay.
We're absolutely sure of it.
Okay. Anyway, that's how you exploit them.
And that's how you exploit networks. And so to exploit networks, you're looking for certain pieces or tidbits of information that exists out there. Or you're doing recon to find what information does exist.
Okay.
So you find that information, you say, what's interesting? That. Then you exfil it is what it's called.
Okay.
Exfiltration. And you pull that data down and you begin to analyze. And then what you want to do is maintain what's called persistence on that network.
Okay.
So the next time that computer reboots, it doesn't flush your kernel that you've dropped on there, your little piece of access. You want to put it on a place on a hard drive where it doesn't bother.
So really, the future battlefield is not Russian front, or the Eastern Front in Germany. You know, in World War II, the Eastern Front, the Western. You know,
right.
It's gonna be on a computer.
Yeah, it's already here.
Okay, so I'm not overly worried about Russia, or
Right.
I'm not really worried about that. My concern, as far as, you know, the Armageddon, or what do you want to call it, the end of the world, or the World War III, let's call it.
Right.
The things that I'm concerned about are a rogue nation, let's say North Korea or Iran or somebody, or, you know, or just the next Osama bin Laden with his terror group, whatever,
Yeah.
and they get hold of any kind of dirty, EMP.
Dirty nuke.
An EMP is what I'm worried about. And I'm more worried about them building this damn thing over there, putting it on a boat, and bringing it into New York Harbor, and didn't even have to go through customs. It's still on the boat, and boink, and it knocks out Wall Street. It knocks out all the people. And it's not so destructive for people because it's a radiation bomb, or EMP bomb.
Yeah.
I don't know if it really wipes the city out like Hiroshima did, but it wipes out the electronics.
Yes.
And then you got all these people that can't, no lights, no electricity, and then there's panic.
Yes.
And it turns into Katrina times 500. And that's what I'm worried, because it knocks New York out. Well, they hit that, and maybe LA at the same time, or close to it. You know, see what I'm saying? Or down around Houston with the oil, you know, refineries, things like that.
Right.
They could screw us up pretty, and that's what I'm worried about. I'm not worried about Putin getting, I got a hard on one day and hit a button and launching a missile at us, because he knows we'd do the same and wipe them out. If a shipping container blows up in the harbor up there in New York, who do we attack? We don't even know who did it.
Right.
That's
Absolutely.
9/11.
And that is a valid concern. You're absolutely right with your.
I don't lose sleep about it, but I figure if something really bad happens, that's the one.
Let me escalate that one for you.
Oh shit.
Yeah, where some Chinese guy gets a hard on and has access to all of Con Edison's control panels, so he can shut down the power. He can scram all the nuclear jobs, all the nuclear plants, all at once, because he already has infrastructure access to the grid, and he can knock down the entire Northeast, not just New York City.
Okay. You remember back in the 80s, I think it was, there was a movie called War Games.
I do.
It had the kid, and he
had
this computer, and the computer kind of took over because it thought it was playing a real war.
Yep.
And it started, launching nuclear weapons and all that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is that a big concern? No. Okay. But the guy, if there's a human on the other end wanting to do the same thing that computer did, he could cause a lot of...
No. Now let me be clear. The Chinese, or our adversaries, are doing this in an aggressive and offensive manner. So they are internal in our electrical grid and our new plants, and they have the capability to cause us great infrastructure pain.
Okay. Now,
and they would do that intentionally.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here for a second. Who's the big leader of China? The associate with
Xi.
Was it Ho Chi Minh or somebody? No, that was Vietnam. That was
Vietnam. Yeah.
Who's the one? The
Xi is the way it's
now. But I mean, back the leader.
Mao Zedong.
Mao Zedong. That's who I'm thinking about. Yeah.
Yep.
So Mao Zedong is sitting over there one day and he goes, I got an idea. I'm just going to do all this stuff we just talked about to America.
Right.
What does it do him any good? Because his whole country is based on building shit to send to us and we buy.
Right.
And so if he shoots us, it's like the grocer shooting the customer that came into the grocery store to buy an apple.
You're absolutely right.
So why would he do it?
Now but that may not persist. As a matter of fact, there is a very large effort in industry and the government today to do what's called decouple from China.
Right.
In other words, this pandemic has shut down some of their supply chain. And so what they're trying to do is decouple from that supply chain to make sure that they have insulated their supply chain.
Got it.
So instead of having problems with China, they can go to Vietnam or Malaysia or other countries to have their manufacturing done, things like that. And
a lot of stuff comes from China, but there's a lot of stuff comes from Taiwan, which some say is China, but a lot of comes from Bangladesh and Singapore. Well, I don't know. talking. I don't know, but we know all these different other countries that aren't China.
Correct.
And you know, look at the Nikes are built in, you know, tennis shoes are built in like India or someplace.
believe,
You know,
yeah.
I don't know, somewhere now. They're sweatshops. They call
Yeah.
it. You know,
Burma
and I don't want to
or
get into all
something,
that, but it's just, yeah, this world is complicated.
It is. It's quite complicated.
And that's what I've really been liking, sitting out here and sitting around a campfire and not worrying about
You really, you
I'm
can't
kinda in a-
This is a huge win.
I'm
It really is.
I'm at a point in my life I just kind of want to unplug from the whole thing, you know.
I'm doing that
But,
this week.
you know,
I am.
So, anyway, good talking with you. Appreciate it. And that was a interesting talk. Hope you don't get in any kind of trouble. There's
I'm
nothing.
fine.
There was no,
I'm good. No, there's no
nothing
worries
that
there.
nobody else would already know.
This is
Okay.
all public stuff.
Okay.
It's all public stuff.
Very good. All right. Well, with that, we're gonna cut the camera off so he can turn around and be a free human being again. So, see y'all later. Ciao.
See y'all.